with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is.
I was afraid, I didn't know what to do. A lot of us be coming in it.
And what I'll say was amazing to me was
Season 2. Welcome back to the L3 Perspective. My name is Glenn Davis. As you know, I'm sitting here with my co-host, Cameron Macias.
Coach Cam.
L3 Perspective, as you know, we talk about life, love, leadership.
As we've talked about in the past, like, love, share, subscribe. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Because at the end of the day, we do it for you guys.
What's going on, guys? Hey, welcome back to Season 2 of the L3 Perspective. This is a platform where we talk about life, love, leadership. The guests that we bring on are very hand-selected and intentional for a reason. Excited to introduce today's guest, but before I introduce today's guest, I'm going to toss it over to Cam.
Hey, as you guys already know, like, share, love, subscribe. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. At the end of the day, we do it for you guys. And if you don't tell us what you're into, we're just going to keep creating whatever. And we want to create what's for you.
Yes. So first and foremost, Vernon, welcome to the show.
Right.
Happy to have you here. Before I even read your bio, I do want to say obviously, a couple weeks ago we had our grand opening.
Yes, sir.
So
the
how
best grand opening in the county.
Yes. As we were gearing up for it, I think it was like the day before.
Yeah.
I came across Vernon on IG.
Yeah.
And hit him up just to invite him.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this was just like a 24-hour turnover.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody be like, his response was like, cool, I'll be there.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Vernon showed up.
Yeah,
right.
for
And
sure.
so for you not to know Cam and I, or even the business or the podcast, for you to show up, like that meant a lot to us, just because what we want to do in this community is really make them aware of who we are, what we're doing, and why we're doing it. Right.
Yeah.
So for you to be present and seeing you connect with other folks, other entrepreneurs, that was a lot, because we want to continue to create that culture and create that environment and that platform where folks can connect genuinely, authentically, and just be who they are and execute.
Yeah.
With that being said, I want to read Vernon's bio real quick. Vernon is a testament to resilience and transformation. I've witnessed that through the conversation that we had as well. He was drafted by the New York Yankees, showcasing his early drive and dedication to excellence. Before his journey took an unexpected turn that led him to becoming involved in the state of California's criminal justice system. Post-incarceration, Vernon committed himself to personal growth. One of the other reasons I wanted to have you on, because I see where your mindset is. Earning a bachelor's of science in criminal justice from Colorado Technical University, and launching himself into youth leadership development world, which is something that that's my lane. Becoming a powerful voice for change, blending his unique backgrounds in sports, education, and advocacy to inspire others and contribute to a more just society. Since 2007, his work has focused on creating opportunities for individuals impacted by the education and criminal justice systems through champion of policies that promote equity and restoration. Known for his exceptional ability to reach the unreachable and teach the unteachable, Vernon has made a profound impact by bridging youth leadership development with criminal justice reform, advocating for equity and opportunity for all. In 2022, fueled by COVID-19, Vernon brought his entrepreneurial drive to the real estate industry, quickly establishing himself as an up-and-coming top producer. Today, he is the conversion coach for Team Fast, online leads department, the number 1 team in California, the number 2 globally within eXp Realty, producing $75 million annually by leveraging his expertise as a top producing agent and combining it with a results-driven approach to coaching. Equips his agents with the tools, systems, and confidence they need to convert in any market, guiding them to maximize their potential and optimize production. In 2024, Vernon was announced as an Inman ambassador, which we were just talking about, for the world's leading real estate industry outlet. Passionate about transforming lives through the intersections of real estate and criminal justice, Vernon's vision is to leverage the real estate industry as a powerful tool for social change and equity by creating innovative housing opportunities and economic pathways for justice-impacted individuals. As we wrap up his bio, with a unique blend of advocacy, leadership, and professional excellence, which was my word for 2024. He aims to reduce recidivism and foster stronger, more inclusive communities. He continues to inspire change and elevate those around him, leaving a legacy of purpose and progress. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vernon Williams.
Wow, wow, thank you. That
Appreciate you,
was powerful.
man.
You just won the record for longest biography.
Yes,
on our
yes.
team.
Hey man, there's a lot to include in that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Vernon, so obviously there are gaps within the bio that was just read.
Yes.
Right. Could you fill in some of those gaps from who Vernon was as a teenager, kind of navigating through, certain choices that you made in life to actually receiving that notification that you were going to be playing for the Yankees?
Oh man. So, I'm a Solano County kid, born and bred. I was born in Vallejo, came up in Fairfield from elementary school through high school. And, single parent environment, that whole narrative there. I remember opening the door and the brown box of government cheese was on the porch.
that government cheese.
Man, that government cheese make the best cheese,
Yes.
best grilled cheese
grilled
sandwiches
cheese,
on the
yes.
planet, brother. Now, I'm not sure how healthy it was for us,
Right.
but it did the job. And, that was a direct result. My parents got divorced when I was really young. I have a sibling, my sister. We're 2.5 years apart.
Okay.
Her and I are thick as thieves to this day. Just celebrated her birthday last week. And, so we were latchkey kids, man, back in the 80s. Mom had to go to work. So we had to make sure that we got to school and did
That's
our
why we're
chores
the
and did our
best.
homework. Yeah, those days were great, man. Kids we went outside and played.
Right.
Yep.
You had to be inside by the time the street light came on.
Right,
All
yeah.
the different games that you play in the neighborhood, built these social skills that kids nowadays just have no
Yeah.
idea.
I told my kids the other day that I used to play football on the street with no shoes on. And they were
right.
like, oh my God. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's how I'm built, homie.
Right. Bill Ford tough.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm built for it.
Yeah, we play tackle football in the
Yeah,
concrete.
Rocky Chevy commercials.
Yeah, man. So that was my upbringing, but my mom is a mom of faith. She's just like that. So she ensured that faith, spirituality, having a relationship with God, that was what she preached in our household. So we were, I played all the sports, baseball, basketball, football. One of the reasons why is because, she's a woman trying to raise a young man, and she wanted to keep me as engaged
For sure.
as I possibly, because I played all the damn sports. Right? But it was a trip because my biological father, I don't remember him coming to any of my games after my parents split.
Yeah,
And so, mom became mom and dad,
for sure.
right? But
We can relate to that.
biologically, though, a woman can only teach a young man how to be a young man up to a certain point.
For sure.
Right? She can't teach me how to
Yeah.
be a man because she's not a man.
Yeah, you need
Right?
the village.
Exactly. So I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I had moms and my sister, and I'm the older brother. So, we did what we did, man. Went to school, got home, did our homework, had our list of chores, and so on and so forth. And they better be done by the time moms get home.
Right.
It's gonna be a problem,
Yes.
right?
Feel like I'm looking in the mirror.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Just
a
a
problem.
little taller.
All right.
Right.
Is that you?
But I got to high school, man. I always played in terms of baseball. I always played on the best teams.
Okay.
From Little League, our Little League team for Atlantic Little League in Fairfield, we didn't lose a game from 10, 11, 12. We were 63-0.
Damn.
We were raw.
Okay.
And, back then it was either Babe Ruth for Fairfield or Fairfield Expos, which
Okay.
was by invitation only. It's called FIBA now, Fairfield Expos Baseball Association. If you guys familiar with Fairfield,
Nope.
okay, Laurel
We're
Creek Park.
we're learning.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
learning.
Laurel Creek Park?
Yes, I do.
Big old baseball stadium built over it. That's FIBA. That's Fairfield Expos.
Got it. Okay.
So back then, the narrative was, the whispers were, did you get a call? Because you had to get a call.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Brad
yeah.
Hampton. Did you
They
get the
call
call?
me up to
Did you get
the
call?
kid big leagues, bro.
You didn't get the call. You hella weak. I got the call. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of like how we would position ourselves and who was dope and who wasn't.
Right.
If you went to Babe Ruth, nah, you was average. But if you got the call from Fairfield Expo, you was one of them boys, right?
He's like, you trash.
The challenge was it was so expensive back in them days.
Yeah.
Moms had to
Dude,
pay like
sports
$600,
are so
$700,
much.
right? And $600-$700 for a single parent making $5.25.
That's half your rent.
She like
Or more,
baby.
actually.
But she sacrificed
Damn.
to put me in that environment
Yeah.
And I stayed in the Fairfield Expos Baseball Association from 13 to 18,
Okay.
right? And that was my exposure to what's possible for me through the game of baseball
Yeah.
outside of the city of Fairfield.
Okay.
They would take us on a Pacific Northwest trip for 2 weeks every summer, right? So we this is driving. And, went to Fairfield High and got the exposure. Our baseball team was super raw. We were 26th in the nation as a junior. Got a whole bunch of attention as a result of that. Our Fairfield Expos Association, we made it to the American Legion World Series.
Okay.
93 is 404,000 and like 44 American Legion teams across the country. We were the top 8.
Yeah.
So the top 8 get to the World Series, ESPN at 17, all of that in Roseburg, Oregon. And that just kind of shaped me, right? It
Okay.
wasn't many of us
Yeah.
playing baseball and that system
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
It wasn't a whole bunch of us,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it was about 3 or 4, maybe 5 of us. We called ourselves the Soul Patrol. we had our knee-high socks up. You know what I'm saying? We the Negro Leagues. The hat hella low way down. Don't hit it to the outfield because, we tracking that.
Yeah.
And so, shoot, man, I graduated high school at 17. Fairfield, FIBA was to 18. So I went to junior college, Sac City, for baseball. And that's where I got drafted. I got drafted by the Yankees out of Sac City. I came back for the summer to play FIBA because I was 18, and I'll never forget. If you're into baseball, you know when the major league draft is. It's the first week of June. Everybody knows that in baseball. So in our world, it's June 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
this is that time. I'll never forget, man. I was at Laurel Creek, and I'm on deck, and my mom and my sister pull up to the game. And they're at the dugout, and my sister like this. She fidgeting. I'm like, no, I'm on deck. I'm on deck, so I'm warming up, and and I'm like, what are you guys doing here? And my mom says, baby, you got drafted by the New York Yankees.
Drop the bat.
Bro.
I'm like,
I quit.
man, listen. I went up to bat. I swung at the first 3 pitches did the pitchers. I mean, ball in the dirt, curveball, bounce
Yeah.
way up there. I'm not even focused on trying to get on
Of
base.
course.
I want
Right.
to get back and hear this news.
Of
Right,
course.
I just got drafted by the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
It's been a lifelong dream of mine, man. Raised by a single parent. I want to change my mom's, and I want to change her reality.
Of course.
Baseball was my ticket. It was
Right.
really good, right? Got drafted. Scout was at the house after the game, and we did the whole thing.
Yeah.
The letter from George Steinbrenner, that whole thing. And I thought that at that point I had made it, right? Mom wanted me to go to school. Single parent. What happens if you get hurt? What
Yeah.
happens if you hurt your knee? What are you going to fall back on?
There's that secondary plan.
Man, I say this reluctantly. I don't have any regrets in my life, but I should have signed with the Yankees.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
She wanted me to go to the school. Got a full ride scholarship to New Mexico State. That's where I went. But if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Mexico?
I know.
Yes.
Bro.
Las Cruces, bro. Las Cruces, bro. It was 2 black dudes.
Las Cruces.
We was both from the Bay. It was 2. It was me and Joel Williams out of Vallejo. And, we did the college trip. You get your recruiting trips. You
Yeah.
get 5 and all that. So I took a couple. Went to Long Beach. I went to New Mexico. Did all of that. Went to Arizona. And New Mexico gave me the full ride. So that's where I went.
Okay.
Moms can't pay for books, board.
Right.
She can't
Yeah.
pay for that. So,
Were you able to leverage the recruitment to the Yankees for the full ride?
excuse me, that's the goal. So what happens is if you want to increase the amount of your signing bonus, you want to secure a full ride.
Yeah.
Yankees want to sign you. They got to make sure that they cover the full amount of the 4-year scholarship, full ride in your signing bonus. That was my
Oh.
strategy. That's if they want to lure you
Yeah,
from that,
yeah.
they got to compensate you
Yeah.
for what's on the
What-
table.
what's on the
for
table.
you. Moms was still not having it. I don't care what they talking about.
Right.
You need to go to school.
That's that, man. When we talk about like generational differences
old
in
school
thought
love.
processes. Yeah.
Man, I'm reading this book. I'm a reader. So I'm reading this book titled Limitless
Yeah.
by Jim Quick.
Yep.
And in that book, he's talking about how limited ideas entertained are how our parents funnel to us in their strategy for our upbringing.
Right.
And they transfer those limited ideas onto us.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to living limitless.
Yeah.
You know, based on circumstances and environments and situations and experiences, they have formed this limited perspective. And my mom didn't know any better. So she was doing the best that she could with the limited information that she had based on her experiences in life, which was pretty tumultuous.
For sure.
Get to school, man. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I say it all the
Right.
time.
Yep.
And I didn't have a man teach me how to become a man.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't have a sense of identity. Most young people, what they suffer from is a lack of identity. They don't know who they are.
Yeah.
So they'll follow us on TV. They'll follow us on TikTok. They'll follow us on Instagram. They will follow everything else
Yeah.
because they are not in tune
Mm-hmm.
with the power within themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
That being said, follow us because if you have an identity, we still enjoy you. all three of us.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, mom, you know, I went to school, bro, and that was my first taste of liberty. I lost my
yeah.
mind.
Oh yeah.
Lost my
Mm.
mind.
Oh yeah. All three of us left.
I didn't last a semester.
Mm.
Oh wow.
I was called mom like, you need to come send for me because this is going to be some real trouble that I done got into in New Mexico.
Oh snap.
Bro, I was there in July, start the fall, first semester. I was back home in December.
Mm.
Holy hell.
Legit. And I enrolled into Napa Valley College.
Okay.
Because I was still had all my eligibility.
Yeah.
I'm still a youngster, right? Still got still drafted by the Yankees. They still have my rights. Went to school, played baseball, rocked it, whole bunch of different, you know, programs. Now it's another year coming up for the draft. So it's got a bunch of schools, bunch of pro teams that are at all of my games. And I remember being in Mendocino College, and man, I got off. I'll never forget this. 3 for 5, 2 doubles, a triple, a couple. I was getting off. Baltimore Orioles was there, a whole bunch of D1 schools. And the way that they play you is Major Leagues will try to see what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
D1s try to see what you're going to do. You don't tell neither one of them the opposite things. You tell, yeah, I want to get drafted. Yeah, I want to go to school. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they did that, bro. And second to the last game of the season, I go back to school. Make a long story short, I go to batting practice. Thought I went to all my classes that day. And I get home. We play Sac City the last game. Sac City is a California powerhouse. Junior college baseball. They're always top 3 in the state.
Right.
Always. So we're playing them tomorrow, if you will. I'm in the bathroom, lining my stuff up, getting ready, and my doorbell rings. And it's one of my boys who was Fairfield Expos, and we playing college baseball. And I'm like, what you doing here? And if you're watching this, Jeff Baker, you remember this. But so what you doing here? He said, you didn't get a call? That was back in the days when landlines were still
Yeah.
the thing,
Yeah.
right? The front cell phones was this big,
Right.
the antennas this big, right? Nah, I didn't get no call. I said, hey, Mom, did the phone ring? Nah, the phone there. What's going on? He said, Coach told me to come get your gear.
Mm.
Get my gear? For what? You've been declared ineligible. Your history teacher dropped you from the class. He said, don't even worry about coming to the bus tomorrow. Bro, it's the last game of the year. Don't worry about coming to the bus tomorrow. He told me, he sent me to come get your gear. It's a wrap. I'm like, it's a wrap?
Mm.
So in my mind, my world is over.
Yeah.
I've been playing baseball since I could walk,
Mhm.
literally. And now I'm at this threshold to be able to change my mom's life.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the disappointment that it would cause her with this news, I just couldn't take it. I know this sounds way off, but this was the mental state that an emotional state that I was in at that time. I didn't tell her anything. I didn't want to see the disappointment on her face.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I woke up the next morning, bro, like, I'm going to my game.
Mhm.
Mom, see you later, going to the game. She said, baby, go kill it. But I knew that, you know, at that time, I knew I was destined to be wealthy, destined to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be through baseball. That was the vehicle. Well, that was over. So my thought was, you know, I know everyone.
Mhm.
Everyone who does everything, we all friends. I'm a baseball star. You may be doing what you do.
Right.
You do what you do. But we've been boys since the 4th grade.
Yeah.
I'm a baseball star. Y'all do. Man, I'm destined to be a millionaire. If it's not going to be through playing baseball, it's going to be some other way. I know who to go see.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, that night I was in jail.
Mm.
The one decision, bro, split decision, changed my life. I'll never forget that. I called my mom from jail like, I don't think I'm going to be coming home anytime soon. That was in 1996. I ended up getting 2 strikes with 1 strike pending. I sat for 17 months. The judge gave me 10 years, 8 months in California Youth Authority. But the governor had just, Gray Davis was the governor at that time. He had just changed legislation that California Youth Authority would not accept anyone over the age of 18. I had just hit that. So I ended up getting sent to San Quentin and doing a whole bunch of observations and so forth. And when I got back, man, grace of God, I wasn't penitentiary material. And I think that was evident in them observing me at that time. So he gave me 5 years felony probation, gave me 2 strikes with 1 pending, and let me go after 18 months of incarceration. First time I had ever been in trouble. I get home, bro, I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I've been to San Quentin. I done seen some stuff that I don't want to see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Went to the
I done
big
been
house.
Incarcerated. Yeah. And that was my first time. I went back 2 more times just to make sure everybody was cool.
Yeah. Just to check on
You cool?
everybody.
You still wearing the state rules? Oh, okay. All right. They didn't change the color. They didn't lighten the darken the denim.
Okay.
Oh, you still here? Okay. But I came home and I was a different person. I didn't want to play baseball anymore. I just lost the fire and started to just tap into who I am intellectually, who I am as an individual. But I still didn't have. I still suffer from an identity crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what really took me there, man. Got involved in some vocational trainings, got a job with Marriott Internationals, ended up meeting a girl. Now, mind you, I told you I was raised fatherless. When I was 10, I remember sitting to myself and I said, man, when I become a grown man and I have a son, I'm going to be the father to my son that my father was not.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I get that opportunity. And I meet this beautiful young lady through work. And she lived in San Jose, going to San Jose State and all that. And we ended up connecting, and she got pregnant, and it was a boy. Hella pumped. I'm super dad, bro.
Oh yeah.
The Maz, ice cream, bike rides, olive oil on the tummy, stretch. We had 2 baby showers. She's from SoCal, I'm from the Bay.
Okay.
Fast forward, I'm at all of the doctor's appointments. I mean, I'm super dad, bro. We in the final checkup. She's legit 9 months. We due date is in 2 weeks. Today's January 17th. It would have been January 31st. Like legit 14 days. She down there getting the ultrasound, and I'm in the screen, and I'm, Daddy waiting for you, and da-da-da. But I'm paying attention to this nurse.
The
and
body language.
She's going all in, and then she's doing a little too much that she didn't do all the other times that I had been there.
Yeah.
Now I'm on her. She steps up. I need to go get a specialist. Now specialist comes back. Fast forward, bro. My son's heart stopped beating. Wasn't beating anymore. So because she was so far along, she had to have my dude.
Yeah.
She had to have him. And so they induced her labor or whatever. Man, I sat on that floor, laid on that floor for like 3 days until I didn't leave her side until my little man was born, and he was legit, like stillborn.
Yeah.
And that did something to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why God would take something from me that I've been vowing to be committed to since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a beef with God.
Yeah.
And I took it out. If he was a living specimen,
Yeah.
he would have looked like Swiss cheese. There's been so many holes in him.
Yeah.
For taking my dude like that, and
Yeah.
just why you do me like that. I was in that space for a really, mind you, I was raised to have a dope relationship with God.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Nope,
God,
we
do something
done.
to You,
Yeah.
you lucky, you invisible.
Yeah.
And that sent me on a downward spiral.
Mm.
I didn't care about anything, life, school, the apartment, the girl. I didn't care about nothing at all. And I went straight into the streets, like hands and feet, all the way in. Went to go see some of my family members, made some moves, and came back with a few things and started from $60, man. And I mean, I'm not like advocating for any of this, but an able mind can move 1,000 individuals just if you're sharp here, right? What we find in the streets is that's where streets and penitentiary and the grave is where most of our talented individuals are. So I was able to use a lot of how I was raised to maneuver in a different way and set myself apart. So I blew up really fast.
Yeah.
In San Jose area. But I moved, bro. Left her the apartment, left her the cars, put all my stuff in trash bags. And I'm like, from this day forward, it's on. And that was my train of thought.
Mhm.
Had a good run.
So let's pause there because there
Yeah.
was a lot that you said that I feel like me personally, I
Yeah.
could relate to.
Okay.
I mean, from being raised, so I'm originally from Philly,
Okay.
right? So inner city kid,
Yep.
raised by a single mom,
Yep.
and so kind of navigating like in search of, you know, at the time not knowing that I was looking or seeking for a man
Yeah.
to show me how to be a man,
Yeah.
right? Left the house at 17, joined the Air Force, and basic training. Still was dealing with, or not really realizing that there was so much trauma and, you know, emotions that I didn't know how to deal with.
Yep.
A week before graduation, was fighting, almost got kicked out.
Mhm.
And I remember sitting in, we call it CQ.
Mhm.
I remember sitting in the office, and the TI came in and said, "Hey, we're going to kick you out." And I remember sitting there like, man, I lost. I basically did not even start my career, and I've already failed at it,
Yeah.
right? And like this was the mindset. And I remember the reason why I joined the military was to kind of get away from my environment,
Yep.
right? And I
sure.
remember there was another moment to go backwards. There was a moment where I didn't walk the stage for like as a senior.
Mm.
And out of 67 grandkids, I was the youngest.
Mm.
And I remember none of my cousins had ever graduated high school. So I was going to be the first.
Yeah.
And I remember my grandfather, who I did look up to as a father figure, all my uncles moved from Philly. They were up in like Boston. They were all coming down
Yeah.
to attend my graduation. And I
Yeah.
remember getting the notification that I wasn't going to walk. And my mom was like, you need to call your grandfather and your uncles and tell them that you're not graduating.
Yep.
Mm.
Because they're already,
Yep.
in a couple of days, they're on the
En
road to
route,
come down.
yeah.
And so I remember feeling, I never made the call, by the way.
Mm.
But I remember just because I was just like, man, like I feel like I was created to start breaking some of these generational curses, to
Yep.
be that example.
Yep.
And here I am, 17, you know, I have a lot of anger built up inside
Yep.
of me, a lot of just everything. But if I had at that time a male figure that was showing me, and this is no excuse, but showing me the principles of what a man really looked like,
Mhm.
you know, I'm glad that I went through what I went through, but at
Mhm.
that time I was searching for something that I didn't
Damn
know what I
right.
was searching for.
Yep.
Right. And so as you talked about your mom and the fundamental principles that she was providing you and your sister, man,
Yeah.
like definitely shout out to your mom.
100%.
Because while women cannot show a man how to be a man, it is very important that they are there because they have some unconditional love to plant those seeds
For
that
sure.
no man can plant
For
in,
sure.
in a man.
For
right?
sure.
And so I wanted to just kind of like I know it was a while ago that you brought that up, but re-highlight that because
Yeah.
that's been on my mind as you were continuing to share part of your stories.
Thank you.
No, for sure, man.
Yeah.
It's
This is good.
yeah, it's and again our experiences shape who we are.
Yes.
Right. And I think that when we have a certain mindset, a growth mindset,
Mhm.
right, we see the world through a completely clearer lens.
Correct.
And I think it's important for whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a father, whether you're a single parent, whatever, to kind of be able to be aware of that
Yeah.
so that you can get to your next level.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
when you talk about going on a run, what does that mean?
That means hands and feet into the streets,
Mhm.
all the way. You know, I was, I used to say this all the time. I was the CEO for UPS. UPS stands for Urban Pharmaceutical
yeah,
Service,
yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
and that was my thing.
Yeah.
Always had an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
I just did not know how it would manifest itself.
Yeah.
But I'm full fledged in the game.
Mhm.
All the way,
Oh,
selling
man.
crack cocaine hard. And, you know, like I said, I started from $60 double up, and, you know, I got to a key or two.
Oh,
one
wow.
time. Yeah, we were.
Wow.
We was
You're moving.
in a
Yeah.
very short period of
Yeah.
time. In about two and a half years, I went from $60 to that. So, you know, that came with a lot of traffic. That came with a lot of experiences. That came
Right.
with a lot of addiction. That
Right.
came with a lot of different elements that just comes with being in that lifestyle.
Mhm.
Ended up getting caught. Sharp though, they never caught me with the work
Mhm.
ever. I've never got caught with work
Mhm.
ever, but they had surveillance and they would see me move, or they would see
Yeah.
me give
Right.
it to someone, or
Yeah.
they'd see me do something.
Mhm.
And they one time they locked me in a corner, and they didn't have the work. They didn't have the evidence.
Yeah.
I discarded the work, but I had those 2 strikes with 1 strike pending from that case in 1996. So anything is a wobbler for me.
Yeah.
So possession in lieu of a controlled substance is like a real charge.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Oh, yeah, they get real
man,
creative with
you getting
charges.
in lieu of it? Like, you don't need no hard evidence. Right? Just in lieu. This is what he said,
like
she said.
you thought
because
about
you
it.
the police and I'm the criminal.
Right.
We gonna, and you in lieu of. So they in lieu me.
Gotcha.
And they tried to give me life. Right? Because I had
wow.
the 2 strikes
Yeah,
with the 1
yeah,
wobbler.
yeah.
Any third thing, anything,
It
was
was
a
a wrap.
third strike. So I remember, man, getting this piece of paper, State of California versus Vernon Williams, XXX, 3 strikes.
Yeah.
Giving me life. And I'm like, man, they trying to give me life.
Yeah.
So she, we lawyered up, fought it for 9 months, and I ended up getting 32. Well, first of all, I got a Romero hearing, which strikes one of your previous strikes. So they don't hold one of your previous strikes against you if you get this Romero hearing granted, right? Got the Romero hearing granted. They gave me 32 months with 80%. And then I was in violation of the case that I caught in 96. Remember, I was on 5 years felony pro. This was the 4th year of that 5 years.
Oh, my gosh.
So it triggers that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They gave me 5 years, and then they ran them concurrent. Right?
Okay.
So I ended up doing a total of 52 months.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah. So went back to San Quentin. Then I went to New Folsom. I'm sorry, I went to Old Folsom the first time. Did Old Folsom. Did 26 months there, and then they released me.
Okay.
Now, what happens is with the state of California criminal justice system is whatever the county of your controlling case is,
Yeah.
that's where you go back to.
Correct. Yeah.
I didn't know anyone in San Jose. I was transporting and distributing a controlled substance.
Yeah.
My mom lived in Contra Costa County somewhere. All my support system was somewhere else. But because that's the case that I caught my beef in,
Yeah.
that's the city that's the county that they're going to release you back to.
Yeah. And that's where you got to do everything.
So you got to have parole.
Yeah.
Well, so residence,
Yeah.
address, and they had none of that. So I applied for a transfer because all of my support system was in Contra Costa County. They
Yeah.
denied it. And then they told me, today's Friday, they told me, you got to have a residence address by Monday, and you need to check in with your parole officer with that new address by Monday, or we're violating you.
Holy cow.
What? So moms gets into her Rolodex network, find me a sober living environment. Bro, I was not a drug addict. I was a drug dealer. Not an addict. There's completely 2 different functions.
Yeah.
But that I had to live in this sober living environment because I needed the address.
Yeah.
I'm on high risk parole, which means I got to see my parole officer every other week, 2 weeks for 3 years straight. Every 2 weeks.
Man.
They had me on high risk. So, bro, I'm catching the bus. I'm getting on when the EBT card first came out. Had one of them joints when they transitioned from food stamps to the card.
This is nice.
Yeah.
Wow. It was gold. You feel some type of way. Mom's got me a monthly bus pass. I found a job at a construction site. There's a brick mason, which you look at me, there ain't nothing construction about me, bro. But I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make sure I don't go back into that environment. Let me rewind. I lost my son. He was stillborn, 99. October of 2000, I had twins.
Oh,
So I have 2 girls,
okay.
identical twins. The younger one looks just like her brother.
That was the real test.
But God took one and gave me 2. But I was involved in the street. So, I caught the case in July, or I caught the case in February. I was out by midnight. My team bailed me out. Went back to moving around. Went to court in April. They remanded me. They took me back in. My bail was, at first it was like 75 something, and they raised it to 750,000. And so I sat till they reduced it from 750 to 5, from 5 to 250, from 250 to 100. I could do the 100. So I got out, bailed out on the 100. Mom's put her property up, bailed me out July 4th. My girl at that time, she was a good 4 months pregnant. So I bailed out to be with them so that I could see my children born. But your bail is only good for a year. So they were born in October. Come July, either you're going to pay that bail again or you're going to remand yourself. I remanded my.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Went and did the 26 months. Old Folsom, came home. They made me go back to San Jose. And I tried, man. I took the bus. I did the food stamps. I was in the sober living environment. Dude over here kicking hair on with 15 cats, and I'm a clean freak. I'm trying to keep my little section clean. Everybody over here tweaking and kicking and convulsion and all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, what am I doing? But I needed this address.
Right.
Job moved from San Jose to Santa Cruz, and I couldn't catch the bus.
Oh, yeah, you ain't doing that.
Now, while I'm home, the people that I used to move with in San Jose know how I move.
Mm-hmm.
So they hear I'm home. What's up, bruh?
Yeah.
Whatever. You know, you back? You ready to get back in the, you ready to get in the fast lane? No. I like catching the bus. I like swiping this little EBT card.
I got my little gold card.
You know what I'm saying? I like waking up at 3:45 to take 3 buses to get to the job site by 7 o'clock to walk a mile up the hill. I'm cool with that because I'm free.
Yeah.
That job left, man. Sober living environment started looking different. You know, I kept denying that call and denying that call and denying that call. And eventually I'm like, man, come pick me up, man. I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
And went from the sober living environment to apartment in Campbell, which is kind of like on the outskirts of San Jose, 3 cars, fully furnished in 2 months.
Oh, wow.
2 months later, I was hit again.
Yeah.
It lasted 4 months.
There you go.
Back to San Quentin, back to 3 strikes again, back to the whole process. I was only home 4 months.
Bro.
Back to San Quentin. Down this time, they sent me to New Folsom.
Okay.
Okay, go to New Folsom. This is like 2003, 4. I came home from New Folsom December 30th, 2004. And that was an experience that I never want to revisit again. Because when you're in those environments, prison politics and prison wars are real.
Yeah.
Law enforcement, correctional officers, they have signs. We do not shoot warning shots.
Yeah.
We shoot. And then you get 6 months paid administrative leave if you down somebody. Well, there was this event that took place on the yard, and I seen somebody melon get split. You've been to war. You know how that stuff goes. I seen somebody's melon get split, and I'm like, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
So I got out.
That'll change your life.
Bro, your whole perspective, right? And so from 19 to 29, that was my experience. From December 30th,
10 years of
2004,
that.
I got out and said, you know what? I ain't never coming back here again. There's got to be more to me than this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give myself an opportunity to find out what that looks like. I ain't never been in trouble since. December 30th, 2004, bro. I haven't been in trouble since. Did my 3 years high risk parole.
Yeah.
And then my life just started to evolve from there, right?
Okay.
I just doing all kind of stuff.
Yeah. So real estate.
Real estate is where I am
How
today.
did that evolution put you to where you are now?
Yeah,
And the
man.
fast
Real Estate
Fast
Team
Real
Fast,
Estate
Team
Team.
Fast.
Team
yeah.
Fast.
Team Fast, brokered by EXP, #1 producing real estate team in California. No matter what brokerage you're representing, what team you're on, we're at the top of that list. Right? Yeah, we averaged. I think last year we did 670 million in sales volume. Year before that was 760.
Damn.
This year is a little over 600 million in sales volume. As a broad team, but I stepped into criminal justice reform before I stepped into real estate.
Okay.
Right? Got my undergrad in criminal justice, right? And I started my first company January 18th, 2007. I couldn't get a job, bro. I don't have a problem
It makes
articulating
sense.
myself.
Yeah.
You know, I went to school. I went to Information Technology Institute.
The ITT.
I was in
Tech,
IT,
boy.
bro. Yeah, bro. So I did that, and I took every course that they could, every certification program that they offered. Graduated top of the class, so much to the point to where they eventually gave me a scholarship. Went there for 2 years, so I was A+ computer technician certified, Network Plus, Microsoft Systems, and did all
wow.
that. Got all of those because I needed some tangible marketable skills to offset this big ass gap
Correct.
in my resume, right? Like, where you been for 5 years?
You're like, hey, don't worry about that.
On
just
vacation.
worry about these 17 credentials I got.
Exactly. So I would get into the interview and articulate myself with all of my certifications, and they would legit want to offer me the job. Vernon, you're the perfect person for the job. All we need to do now is the Department
Background
of Justice.
check.
Criminal- I would think, thank you very much for the opportunity, because I already know what that. You need to do a urinalysis. I'll pee in the cup right now.
Yeah.
And we got to do a DLJ federal background check. I already knew what was going to come back. So let me just thank you for the opportunity, because I know I'm disqualified once you see what it looks like, who I am on. It's not who I am. That's what I did. There's a difference. So I started staffing agencies.
Okay.
And I would take a 6-week project, bro, and get in there and wiggle and turn it into indefinite. Right? I
There
had
you go.
18 months. I was working it.
Right.
But I got tired of that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
the environment was cool, screens everywhere, you know, super creative. We would create the advertising content that you see in the different departments in Target, Walmart.
Yeah.
We would create that,
Okay.
Premier Retail Networks in San Francisco.
Okay.
And then we would distribute it via satellite all over the world. Hella fun.
Yeah.
But I'm a thoroughbred. I
Yeah.
can't sit in the cubicle and
Right.
bro, I'm extending breaks from 15 minutes to 45 minutes. I'm,
Yeah.
you know, I'm all over the place because sitting
They're
still
like, where's
and just-
Vernon at?
I
wanna
can't,
move
that's
again.
just not how I'm wired.
Right.
You know, I'm just
Yeah.
not wired like that. So I was speaking to one of my mentors. He worked for Workforce Development Board. I'm like, man, I can't do this. He said, Vernon, what do you love to do? So I love young people.
Okay.
He said, go to the Pittsburgh Rec Center and go volunteer your time. Nobody turns down free time. That's what I did, man. Started a junior computer training course from the stuff that I learned in the IT.
Yep, there you go.
Teach the kids how to type. Teach
Yeah.
them how to speak Spanish. I speak a little Spanish.
Yeah.
And I got my first little independent contract from that. I thought I was in tall cotton, $40 an hour, bro.
Right.
6 weeks, 6
Yeah.
hours a week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was my introduction to legal entrepreneurialism.
Correct.
I haven't worked for anyone since July 1st, 2007.
Okay.
Not at all, period, the end. And so I began to create multiple nonprofits, and prison realignment and public safety was just hitting California.
Okay.
AB 109.
Yeah, AB 109.
109.
Yep.
Okay, so AB 109 is prison realignment and public safety legislation, assembly bill.
Yeah.
Well, in Contra Costa County, my personal experience, my education, and my professional experience made me an expert in criminal justice reform.
Yep.
I could tell you I have 2 CDC numbers. I could tell you all about what we need when we reintegrate back into our communities, what doesn't work, what does work, what can we tweak, what do we need to enhance. So I was sitting at the table with Deputy Chief Probation Officer, Deputy Chief Public Defender, all of the department heads,
Yeah.
sheriffs, different chiefs of police for the different cities in Contra Costa County to design what our system for reintegration is going to look like for Coco County.
Yeah.
So the state was allocating millions of dollars to these counties because supervision now became a responsibility of the county.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the chair of the community advisory board that's deciding what that looks like. And I had been doing that, bro, since 2010, and then COVID hit. So I became a bridge. My mentoring program, leadership development programs called Emerging Leaders was in the school systems starting grade 6 for intervention, for preventative work.
Yep.
The preventative
Okay.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the reintegration intervention work was the criminal justice work. So we were the bridge, keep the youngsters out, those who are reintegrating back in our community, ensuring that they have sufficient resources that really ensure their self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
I did that up until COVID hit. And then COVID hit and showed me how vulnerable my business model was. School system shut down.
Yep.
Criminal justice system. Ain't no access.
Yep.
Whoa, what I'm gonna do now?
Yeah.
And I was in a valley, bro. I take it back. I said I haven't worked for anyone since July 2007. That's
Yeah.
a lie.
Got him.
I went to Lowe's
Oh.
and worked overnight
Yep.
because I got stuff to do. I'm a hustler, man. Whatever it is, I throw a newspaper, pack a box, I'll do whatever.
Right.
I'm a hustler. Did that, but that didn't last very long.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of friends who are in real estate, and I called a couple of them and, what do you think about me getting into real estate? And they had been, giving me positive feedback for the years in our relationship. Oh, you should get into real estate. Nah, that's what you do. I like
Right.
what I'm doing. We
Right.
make the same amount of money,
Yeah.
but I like what I'm doing in
Yeah.
terms of passion, purpose for existence. But now my game is woken up, and real estate was looking real attractive. And that was in 2019-20, bro. So I connected with one of my partner. She's actually my business partner today. We've been friends since we were kids, literally. And she was like, I'll show you everything that I know. And I'll let you can shadow me. You can earn while you learn. That was in
Can't beat that.
2021. Nah, man, I took my exam in 2021. This will be my 3rd year. May will be my 3rd year. Yes, I took my exam in May of 2021. Passed it on the first rip. And I hit the ground running, bro.
Bet.
Taking over, killing it, closing a bunch of I think I did 19 transactions last year.
Okay.
And so now I'm in the conversion clinic for Fast Real Estate. And now we are coaching and developing agents all over the country.
That's
So
cool.
we've got the intensity piece that I told you about.
Yeah.
It's ultimate accountability, ultimate high level accountability, like real estate boot camp
Yeah.
for real estate professionals who really want to build a foundation to take their business and their life to the next level.
That's dope.
Got folks from New York in our current intensity cohort, folks from Colorado, Arizona, and that's really starting to take off, man. Super grateful. Have started to really do some working in the coaching world. So I come alongside real estate professionals, real estate teams who really want to maximize their conversion and boost their revenue.
Yeah.
That's my thing. And just from the work that we've done and just being a producer, really got selected as an Inman ambassador. Super excited about that. That's a humongous honor because there's applicants from all over the country. They only picked 20 of us.
That's cool.
And so got selected for that. Headed to New York in a couple of days. Man, God is good. My life is transformed. I didn't mention, but I did run for public office twice
Okay.
in Vallejo because I feel that there are two realms by which change is executed. It's grassroots, community-based level, and legislation, period, the end. And so I was on the grassroots, community-based level doing the work in the trenches with those who were involved in violence, gun violence, so on and so forth. My first project and contract was with the Workforce Development Board of Contra Costa County. We launched a Young Adult Empowerment Center in the projects in North Richmond,
Okay.
in the heart of the projects. The goal was to empower out-of-school youth, ages 14 to 24, get them reintegrated in vocational training, education, so on and so forth.
Right.
That was my entry point into the work. And really, we had a real influence on reducing the violence in Richmond right around 2010, 11, 12, 13, when Richmond was just way off the hook.
Yeah.
I was on the groundwork doing that work. So that's where change happens in the legislation. So I came to Vallejo, and my spirit said, "You gonna run for mayor? Run for mayor?"
Spirit.
You talking to me? Bro, ended up running for city council. No political capital. Nobody knew who I was. I'm from Vallejo.
Yeah.
But when I got in trouble and moms moved, they don't need for me to come back over here.
Yeah.
But it was a reason that it was a situation that occurred where I had to come back.
Yeah.
Came back in 2016, ran for city council. There were 9 candidates. Didn't nobody know who I was, but I'm gritty, bro. I'm one of them. You cannot tell me what I cannot do because now I'm hell bent on showing you
Yeah.
better than I could tell you
For sure.
what I'm about to do. So
For
just
sure.
sit back and watch. Ran for city council, 9 candidates. I was the 4th highest vote. It was 3 seats.
Okay.
I was the 4th highest vote getter. I lost the seat by like 900 votes. All of the incumbents, I lost to the incumbents, beat everybody else out. Got about 12,000 votes. Then did it again in 2020 and lost to the incumbent at that time by about 900 votes. Said to myself, you know what? I think I've got the influence and experience within the political realm now. All the congressmen, the senators, the county supervisors, the mayors. I'm the chair of the Solano County Black Chamber of Commerce Political Action Committee. So that's my involvement in politics
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now my dream, my like aspiration is to integrate criminal justice reform with real estate.
Okay.
It's not been done. We've had some conversations around it, but there's a way to reduce recidivism. There's a way to ensure public safety. There's a way to create adequate resources for self-sufficiency for those who are reintegrating back into our communities or who are still on paperwork, leveraging the real estate sector. There's a way to do it. I'm hell-bent on discovering what that way is. So all I'm doing now is telling my story, making sure that I take up space in any room that I come in, have conversations, meet people, because ultimately that will be a movement. Is integrating, is having an impact on criminal justice reform, leveraging the real estate sector.
For sure.
That's what I do, man.
Cool. So, we know you got somewhere to be.
Let's go, Cam.
So we're gonna.
We can do this all day, bro.
I know we're good. As we wrap up, G always has a question he asks all the guests.
Okay.
And we'll definitely have to do this again because there's about
So much to
15
unpack.
years we need to
So,
unpack.
And I apologize for being long-winded.
No, you're
good.
I
You're
get
good.
passionate about
This
shit.
is dope.
I will say, very, very, very rarely do we have a guest or kind of allow a guest to kind of just like talk.
Oh, really?
Big portion of it.
Oh.
But here's why we did.
Okay.
Cameron and I are normally on the same page.
Normally.
So normally, I'll speak for the podcast, right? For Cam and I.
Okay.
We did that because your story is so interesting, Like there's so many people that are dealing with so much in their life, whether in whatever phase that they're in, whether they're trying to see how do I become resilient? What do I, how do I, like, what are stories that inspire me that will just keep me going in the day where I'm pushing and pushing and pushing to try to transform, but I don't know where to go. And I think for people to see and hear stories like yours from, being, a legend as a kid, right? Having these opportunities, how a choice can shift the course of your life.
Absolutely.
Right. But you still come out on top and still pushing. And so we felt that it was important for people to hear the connected dots without any interruption in those segments. Right. Because there's like I said, there was probably 150 questions that went through my head that I could have asked, just because of just to dive a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And so I will say that Cam and I look forward to connecting with you
For part 2.
on another level.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
I would love to, man.
And so, well, with that long recap being said, there's 3 words: life, love, leadership. In 60 seconds or less, if you could speak on whatever's on your heart regarding life, love, or leadership.
Man, that's so powerful. 60 seconds. Let's go. On the clock. We only have one life. We have, in this book, life is the C between B and D. Life is the choice between birth and death. Our life is a composition, an accumulation of the choices that we make. A setback from the choices that we make is nothing but a setup for your comeback. Okay? That's about life. In that life that you have, that dash, what is represented in that dash? Love. That's the ultimate energy that keeps everything rotating, is this gracious love. And as it relates to, so in that life, make sure that you embody love. And then leadership starts with self. Okay? So if we're going to live our life in a space of love, let us lead from a place of self. If we focus here, everything externally becomes magnetic, and we control the environments that we walk in energetically by the space that the energy that we contain. And if it's love, you will lead self through the lens of love in your life. That's what I got.
I got you.
That was dope.
Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. I think is it's sayings like that of why we created this platform to execute, right? Because Cam and I can come up here and share practical principles, share stories, and share different things like that. But we wanted to open it up to bring like-minded individuals on the platform, so that we can continue to add even more value, because there's power behind words, right? And sometimes your words and the choices that you make, keeping them in alignment with what you're listening to or what you're seeing, and that's what the L3 perspective is.
Powerful.
Right? Powerful. Life,
Powerful.
love, leadership.
There you go.
Powerful.
With that being said, Cam, you want to close this out?
Well, first, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram
Okay.
at Mr. V the Realtor. My Facebook handle is my name, Vernon Williams III. You can connect with me via email, vernon@fastagents.com. I'm not going to give you my phone number, but email, social media, direct. I'm everywhere like the air, man. I'm literally, and this is one of the reasons why it was so important for me to sit down with you all in this space, because in 2025, it's about owning the space and becoming an authority in whatever it is that our individual personal experiences have cultivated. So
Yeah.
that's where you can find me.
Bet. All right. Well, as you guys know, like, love, share, subscribe. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. At the end of the day, we do it for y'all. We appreciate you as always, and we will see y'all later.
Let's go.
Peace.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is
I was afraid, I didn't know what to do. A lot of us be coming in it.
And what I'll say was amazing to me was
Season 2, welcome back to the L3 Perspective. My name is Glenn Davis. As you know, I'm sitting here with my co-host, Cameron Macias.
Coach Cam.
L3 Perspective, as you know, we talk about life, love, leadership.
As we've talked about in the past, like, love, share, subscribe. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Because at the end of the day, we do it for you guys.